Hello, theater goers! Get ready for today's episode because I'm sure it's one you've been waiting for. Today we're going to be talking about the wonderful world of acting. Ooh, let me get some popcorn. Hey, no eating in costume. What costume? Roll the clip! Thanks to the previous episode where we went in depth about the elements of a script, we now know that the script is the perfect guide for us performers. As an actor, what's the first step when you receive the script? Look at it? Yes, you can look at it, but more specifically read it, and read it more than once. The more you read, the more details you'll pick out each time. There are a lot of clues as to how to play your character in the script, but we can't always rely on only the clues the script provides. Acting requires original ideas too, so actors have the creative freedom to build their own story. What? So I could make any character a magical unicorn if I wanted to? Sadly, no. Any and all information that the actors create for their character must make sense in the story. There's a lot of insider information that the actors write in between the lines. The audience most likely won't know every detail that they do create, but it certainly does change their performance once they know the character inside and out. Now, you might ask, how do I get to know my character?
That's so crazy, I was about to ask that.
Well, it includes a lot of questions. There are a bunch of things you can ask yourself in order to make this process go along, and it's important that you do what's best for you. But we are going to be looking at Uta Hagen's 9 questions.
Bless you.
What?
I said bless you.
I was just talking about Uta Hagen.
Bless you again.
I think you mean Gesundheit.
Holy cow, you can't stop sneezing.
No, Uta Hagen was a person. She was an amazing acting icon who performed in and taught theater.
Oh, I thought you just stared at the sun for a long time or something.
Are you ready to hear them?
I'm ready.
All right, so the first question to ask yourself is, who am I?
Who am I?
You don't literally need to ask yourself right now.
But of course you need to ask yourself who you are if you're trying to figure out who you are.
It may seem like a given, but there's a lot more to take into account than you'd think. For example, you have to think about the character's age, traits, opinions, interests, pet peeves, fears. The possibilities are endless, but essential to figure out who this character is to you.
So I have to think about what they're thinking? Why?
When playing a character, you're playing a person. We have thoughts and opinions and feelings that just happen without being told what to say and do. Even if the people aren't real, they have a real impact on those around them. And even if the story isn't real, it reminds us of real emotions we experience. Storytelling is more than entertainment. It connects humanity. And that's why it's so important for us to make sure that we make these characters feel as authentic as you and I.
All right, enough cheese. What's the second question?
2, 3, and 4 can be grouped in a similar category. 2, what time is it? 3, where am I? And 4, what surrounds me? This all has to do with the performer's environment. Get as specific as you can. When dealing with time, think time of year, time of week, time of day, and why that's important. When dealing with location, think what country, what city, what building, what room, and why that's important. And when dealing with surroundings, think of the weather outside and the people around you and the objects at your side and why that's important. Imagine the scene as if it were a true memory. Every detail only brings the story to life even more.
But don't imagine a bunch of magical unicorns around you.
Not if it doesn't make sense in the context of the story, but if you're ever uncertain, ask your director.
Gotcha.
Question 5 is, what are the given circumstances? In other words, what do we know about this person from their scripted actions, opinions, and beliefs, and how can we use that to help create additional, original ideas? If their backstory is not already in the plot, make up some pivotal information for your character's life. Think what has happened already, what is happening currently, and what will happen next.
I wish I could make up information about my life. Like I could make a cookie appear here right now.
Well, actors aren't magical. We can't really do that either.
Right.
Number 6 is, what are my relationships? This can be more than just dynamics with people, but also with objects and memories. We have relationships with certain items because they trigger emotions for us. Maybe your character won a teddy bear at a carnival with her best friend, so every time she looks at his furry little face, it makes her smile. As long as it makes sense to you as a performer and helps you in the process of developing your character, have at it.
I have a sock that I used as a sock puppet one time, and now every time I wear it, I can't help but call it Mr. Toemouth. Get it? It's like Thomas, but with a lisp.
That's great. Maybe you can use that for character inspiration someday. Or possibly never. Yeah. These last few are super important. First we have what do I want? This is also known as your character's objective. Ask yourself what your character wants and why.
I really want a cookie.
Then we have what is in my way. Characters often face a lot of challenges in order to achieve and acquire their ultimate goal. Ask yourself what obstacles your character has to overcome.
Well, I'm stuck here, so I can't eat that cookie.
Lastly, drum roll please. What do I do to get what I want? This is also known as your character's tactics. What does your character do, say, and display in order to get what they want?
I get up right now and get a cookie? Fine, I'll wait.
I strongly advise you to write all of these questions down when creating a character because that way you can always return to it when you need a refresher or inspiration.
Who dog knew what she was doing? I feel like I know so much more about myself now.
I agree, these questions are super helpful. But with all that being said, try not to overthink too much and remember to follow your artistic instincts. As actors, we like to fill in the blanks. That can be such a useful tool when creative liberty is needed. So be sure to trust yourself and your gut.
My gut's pretty artistic if I do say so myself. And noisy.
Pop quiz! Ah, what? With the help of my fellow actor friends, we are going to test you on your knowledge of expressions and emotions. After all, if you're going to be a performer, this is probably good to know. What would you say the actor is feeling? Frustrated, disappointed, jealous, or exhausted?
Disappointed.
That's right, but how do you know?
His head is down, so he looks sad.
I'm so glad you pointed that out. We have to act with our whole bodies, not just our face. We can tell he's disappointed because we've probably felt that emotion before and maybe we've done the same. Now, what about this one? Do you think this actor is feeling content, excited, nervous, or embarrassed?
Content. She looks happy but relaxed.
Nice job! We have to pay attention to every part of our body when playing these characters because every character is different. Just like every person is different. We all have our unique qualities. We all talk different, walk different, use different gestures when we're speaking, and maybe some use none. That's why it's so important to take all of this into account when creating our own characters. They are just their own individual fictional person with their own individual qualities. Maybe the actor is playing an old man excited to go get some ice cream. Maybe the actor is playing a young boy who just dropped his ice cream. Or maybe the actor is playing a character his own age who just doesn't like ice cream. See how no matter the character, the actor's whole body was dedicated to the role. I wanna try? Alright, so let's look at creating a character with what's provided. Here's a line that can be interpreted in many different ways, but it's your challenge to make each one equally convincing. You up for it?
Yes.
The line is, look, there it is.
Okay, just give me a second to get off book and memorize it.
It's 4 words. I got it! Don't forget to project your voice so the audience can hear you. Make sure that your breath is supported from your diaphragm.
What is that? It sounds like a dinosaur.
Don't take a shallow breath from your lungs up here. Take a deep breath from your torso down here. Feel the sides of your stomach expand, and remember to use your entire body.
Okay, I'm ready.
Say the line as if you're excited.
Look, there it is!
Now say the line as if you're afraid.
Look, there it is.
Okay, say the line as if you're irritated.
Look, there it is.
Great work! One last line. You know this one already.
Aw, man!
Say this one as if you're in a commercial.
Thank you so much for joining us while we all learn a little bit more about theater and storytelling. Don't forget to watch the next episode. Call us at 1-800-MAGICAL UNICORN UNIVERSE.
We talked about this.
Okay, the curtains are closing. Thank you and goodbye.